Ren is my fastest character.
I thought you were gonna say Ren is my fattest character.
That too, probably. Got giant robot bits to him.
Yeah.
Pretty fat.
0% body fat.
Let's see how much rest actually does. So about 70.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
So does this D&D rolls for everything?
No.
No?
No, it's to an extent yes, but the variable is very small.
Gotcha.
The majority of it is determined by the numbers.
I remember there was a Final Fantasy speedrun that somebody was trying to do, and he messed it up on one of the bosses, and if he didn't do a certain specific something perfectly, it was going to kill the speedrun. He had an attack that if you used it while your opponent had like 777 health left, then it was an insta-kill. It didn't matter as long as their health was repeating sevens, they would die. And so he had used the wrong attack or gotten a bad roll on one of his attacks, so it didn't do what he wanted him to do. And the attack that he had to use to get that boss down to 777 had like a roll range between like 20 and 130 something, and he needed to roll exactly a 96. And so like he had messed up his run already just because he was stupid and didn't handle this boss correctly.
Yeah.
But he rolled exactly a 96 and was able to continue the run. It was really, really fun. It was a Twitch stream. It was really cool watching him just freak out.
Yeah. So I will say, going back to the map thing, nonsensical maps, I will say that while I understand your sentiment with it, like, it doesn't make a logical sense.
Yeah.
I like to do tabletop RPGs as well. Oh, that's not good. Kill it. Great. Okay. I like to do tabletop RPGs as well, and I'm actually usually a GM, a game master.
Yeah.
In most of the ones that I play, I'm not a player. I'm the person in charge of, for those of you who don't know tabletop RPGs, I basically play the form of the game itself. So I am in charge of the rules, I'm in charge of the mechanics, I'm in charge of the way that monsters happen, bosses happen, stuff like that. I'm in charge of designing maps. I'm in charge of pretty much everything that the players aren't doing. And so it's a difficult job. I really enjoy it, but there's a level of complexity that has to go into every map. And so, for instance, this is really going to date the video. Halloween's in a couple days. And so I'm doing a one-time RPG session in one of my favorite RPGs. It is called Dread. You should look it up online because it is fantastic. And it's really simple. It's really easy to play. It's free. Ooh, Raja is almost dead. That is not good. Raja is dead. That's not great.
Can you revive him?
Maybe. Nope.
Man.
Wait. Nope.
Nobody can revive him?
I don't think so. Rika doesn't have... I don't think SAR does it.
Why not try?
No, I'm...
Oh. Dying recovered.
Yep. Because it's technically a status effect. According to the game. Whew. Whew.
This man has a health problem. He's dead. Use this. Shove it in his mouth. Oh, look, he's better.
And you know what I'm going to immediately do?
What?
Heal him with himself.
Why not?
Alright. I mean, he has the second most toilet paper.
Yeah.
Next to room. Anyway, so one of the things that I have to do is design maps. And so I will say that there is a level of nonsensicalness that has to happen just to make things work. Now, I'm very technical in my designs, so when I'm designing a spaceship, I'm going to design the spaceship like a spaceship, and then put things on it. But there is a level of like, no, there is a level of making things like bigger. So like maybe the space station had an add-on. Now this one in this game very obviously did not. This was not just some random add-on, because it's all kinds of tangled confusion.
Yeah.
Rehit itself. But you know, there are times when it's like you can make the main part that makes sense, and then make another little part, not a little part, another like whole half of it that's like, oh, yeah, they did a major revamp to the station, and so it connects in strange places and loops around to other things. And then another thing you can do is do damage, like causing damage to the station. So now tunnels that would have logically made sense now totally don't. They're totally cut off. And so for things like that, it's a level of like using logic and using like what could have caused this to make it more maze-like. Maybe there's some kind of crazy alien fungal plant that's growing on it, and you can't go through certain areas without dying.
Yeah, and that makes sense. It's the only problem that I have with things like this is that it's complicated for no good reason.
Yeah, this is like, just a JRPG maze dungeon. That's all it is.
Yeah, like the last place that we were at was a plant, and so the point was to manufacture things. Yeah, there. That was the purpose of the building.
Yeah. Well, no, that one was the tectonic plant. It kept track of all the tectonic plates on the planet. It didn't manufacture things.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, it might have manufactured robots to go down and fix things.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
But, like,
I never actually thought of that.
In any case, the whole point of the building would be efficiency. When you're building it, you build it for efficiency.
But not necessarily for efficiency of people wandering around.
Well, but
maybe it's for efficiency of the systems to work. So putting these two systems next to each other makes sense, but then but where you have to put the walkways might be illogical. So that may be what's happened here, is like the people walkways were secondary.
Well, I mean, if everything is...
It's all automated.
If everything is automated, then why would there be walkways at all?
For maintenance, like what we're doing now.
Then they would be super thin and small and...
I mean, we're walking through, like, just regular corridors. They're not very big.
Well, yeah, but...
And like, the only things that are like gigantic chasms that, you know, that it's just spanning a space in between two gigantic things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you do have a sense of logic, but I'm playing devil's advocate, as it were. I'm showing you that there is a possible explanation for it. So now, like the real explanation is it's a JRPG, and they just did whatever they wanted to do.
But I don't know. Things like that are the things that bring me out of video games. The things that make me think, yeah, this is just a game. You know, this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't look right.
Discard it. We got a thing.
Why'd you have to do that?
Because we got a thing and our inventory's full.
Oh. You got dynamite.
We did get dynamite.
Can you use that to make a hallway that makes sense?
Let's look at it and see what it is. A highly explosive material.
That is what dynamite is?
Yeah. So yeah, I will say that there's a level of like logic and stuff, and you're actually going to be a part of the Dread RPG. I was going to talk about that a little bit, that I'm doing on Halloween. Ow, would you guys stop that? It really hurts. It hurts a lot. Ooh, nice. Chaz leveled up. But I would suggest you check out Dread because it's very simple in mechanics, like what you have to do to play.
Yeah.
And it's you're not going to be able to find it to buy it, but you will find a PDF online for free with everything in it.
Yeah.
And it's so simple, and it's intended for, the idea is that it would be like a horror film kind of idea, in anything in the horror jump scare genre.
Anything can kill you.
Yeah, so it's most RPGs, you think like, ow. You think like Dungeons and Dragons. You think long campaigns and nerds sitting at a table for hours on end every week.
Yeah.
That is not what Dread is. Dread is usually a single time, it'll be a couple hours, 2, maybe 3, depending on how it goes.
Yeah.
But it's going to happen once. You're not going to do it multiple times. Did Roger take any damage? No. I'm just going to SAR everybody again. And it's great. I love it. Because it means you can do stuff that you normally wouldn't. One of the people in my session, coming up on Halloween, is...
What happened?
He just got a surprise round, which meant he got to summon an extra explosion before. I mean, I'm probably not going to get to kill it before it hits me. Especially if they miss. Anyway, she's going to play a character that is, in a normal RPG, would not fly.
Yeah.
Because the character is super non-serious.
Yeah.
But they're making me discard my antidotes. To get these dynamites. Actually, don't even know how useful dynamite is. Who took the explosion to the face? Ren. He's fine. Normally, you need a character that had some semblance of perseverance. More than... No, I'm not starting with this. With some semblance of reality. A character with...
Are we at the end?
I accidentally went the right way.
Do you not want to go to the right?
No, I want to get everything. I want to get all the chests and stuff, because this place is actually pretty decent. I'm not dying a lot.
Yeah.
And I have, I think both Rune and Raja can do revive. Or reverb. So, and like, we're not using our TP. For the most part. Like, we're using it for mild healing here and there. But we're not using it in combat. We're killing everything with regular attacks. So it's super good.
Yeah.
But normally you'd want a character that has some semblance of reality so that it can be a playable person in a long-term story. There goes Rune. I really hope Raja has revived. If not, we're leaving.
Get rid of the Land Rover.
Or Shadow Blade. Raja, please tell me you have the... Yeah. But...
He'd die
because... We've totally made that joke before. But because it's a one-time... Like, you're never going to see these characters again. They're probably going to die. It's a horror film. Like, tried and true, teenagers going out to a log cabin.
Yeah.
In the middle of the woods. They gonna die.
Yeah.
Something's gonna kill them. And so, it can be goofy, and she's gonna play a character that makes... she's just shallow, and... Okay, I came back the way I started. Got it. Who's shallow, and has no... I've lost all this one.
Left is...
Yeah, I know. I thought there was an elevator I ignored, though.
I'd say discontinue.
I'm pretty sure there was an elevator I missed. Oh, this one.
Nope.
Yeah, it was this one. It looks like at least in the same place, but it doesn't. Pretty sure.
Huh.
Pretty sure. Anyway, so it's okay for her to play a goofy character that doesn't make any sense. Like, it's super stereotypical. It's very simple, but that works in this kind of a setting.
Yeah.
So I highly suggest you guys check out Dread. It's
There's a
great game.
There's a Will Wheaton tabletop
Yes.
on it.
Yes.
You look that up. It's
on
probably the best
YouTube.
way of seeing it and understanding how it's done.
On the YouTubes.
I don't like Will Wheaton for everything, but I love him for tabletop.
I like
awesome.
most of the stuff he's been in. Like, I love Star Trek.
Oh, I love the stuff he's been in.
I'm a pure nerd. No.
I shall search for it. Wait, what's that?
Sorry. What? Where?
Over there, in the shadows.
Okay, I'm really glad that it gave us that. No. Goodbye.
Bosses?
If it's not gonna let me save, I'm going somewhere where I can... Sorry, guys.
Are you ready for this?
No, sorry, guys. You're gonna see some computer screen.
There's some meta.
Yeah, you're about to see some computer screen. So this is actually a great time to talk about this game. So you can buy this on Steam. It's called the Sega Genesis Classics, and I would suggest buying it there. I've mentioned it before, but you've never seen this part.
Isn't it the only way to play this on PC?
On PC, other than cheating, yes.
Huh.
Like other than stealing it.
Yeah. ROMs.
Yeah, ROMs and stuff, which we do not suggest because
We're not thieves.
yeah, don't steal stuff. And this is honestly not that expensive.
How much was it?
It's like $2.
Really?
This whole game. Almost everything in there is like $2 or $3. You can get like all the classic fighters and stuff. So yeah, in closing, check out Dread and watch Tabletop.
And watch us die.
Yeah,
Are you ready?
I don't know. What level am I? 21 across the board. 22, 23, 25. Oh, I'm gonna heal before we go anywhere. Yerp. Make sure we at max health before we go into this one. So yeah, just one rest on Rika and one rest on. His, but it's okay. I don't want to use it for goods. I probably should use it for goods. Anyway. But yeah, maps are confusing. They're fun to build. I like making things.
Yeah. Oh, hello. What on Earth? What on whatever other planet other than Earth? Anything else would make sense. This feeling of oppression.
It's funny you say that you mentioned Earth, and you mentioned that it's not a thing. Earth is a thing in this universe.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. You know what? We're almost at the end. We're almost at the end of this. I'm gonna wait a second, and I'm gonna get on a soapbox and yell about something for a minute.
Yeah?
Yeah. Phantasy Star 2. Okay? In the past, I've said that I don't like it. On this, I've said I don't like Phantasy Star 2. I don't know why everybody loves it so much. I don't. It really makes no sense to me why everybody loves it. Because to me, that game was, while it had a lot of Phantasy Star 4 in it. Now granted, I started playing a newer game, so automatically I'm going to be predisposed to not like it. Actually, I was watching the videos as I'm editing them, and I realized I never said why I hate Phantasy Star 2. I hate it. It is the game that always gets remade. It's always Phantasy Star 2, then Phantasy Star 3, then Phantasy Star 1. Phantasy Star 4 never gets remade. It's not on anything. Phantasy Star 2 you can get on the iPhone. The other ones, Phantasy Stars 1 through 3, you can usually get them in like classic collections.
Yeah.
Phantasy Star 4 is nowhere. The only place that I found it was on Steam here, in real copy, like an actual Sega Genesis original, and on a Sega Mega Bundle for the Xbox 360, which has almost every single game that ever came out on Sega Saturn, Sega CD, and Sega Genesis. So obviously that's going to happen because it has almost every single game. Phantasy Star 2 was very repetitive. You go into dungeons like you do in this one, but you're on one planet, and you go from I think there are 4 quadrants in the game. You go to one quadrant, go to like the environmental control plant, go inside, kill all of the monsters, get to the end, and reset it. You do that 4 times.
Really?
Yes. Now, granted, the dungeons are different, and there are little snafus that happen here and there, and there's always a different reason for you to go in the next one. The first one is like the water control plant's out of control. It's wonky. So you go there and you find out, oh, it's the machine control. Okay, cool. So you go there to figure that out. Fix that, because it's wonky. Oh, it's also the power grid. The power grid's causing problems. So you go to fix that. In the process of that one, and I'm just remembering, I only played the game once. It was years ago, so I'm just kind of going off of general memory.
Yeah.
So then, something else happens with the water control stuff, and like barriers get put up.
Are you basically saying it's just really repetitive?
That's the point I'm getting at. Yeah, I'm telling you the entire game right now.
Yeah.
It's the whole game. So you go and you fix that, then you go to the last plant, which is the power plant. You finally get to go there, and you go there, and you find out that there is a spaceship that's messing with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Phantasy Star 2 is at the height of the Parmenian Empire.
Okay.
So all 3 planets are colonized. Motavia, Desolus, and Parmenia, I guess it's called, are all colonized.
Okay.
And it takes place primarily on Parmenia, whatever the planet's called. And so they have space travel. They have, like, the androids like Rika and Ren are common. They're everywhere.
Okay.
Like, everybody has like one of these personal robot helper people. They're doing everything all over the place. So super advanced species. So you go up to the spaceship. This is the final part of the game. Spoilers. Like serious spoilers. I'm about to tell you the crux ending, the twist ending at the end of Phantasy Star 2. That absolutely just rubs me all the wrong way. I hate it.
Yeah.
You get to the end, you go through this crazy, long, complicated dungeon. You find the dude that your character the entire time has known was evil.
Yeah.
To stop. He's like a politician type guy who's kind of like controlling everything. And you're like, I knew you were evil. Like, we've always known you were terrible. We never liked you. You always wanted to hate on us. Yada, yada, yada. You go and you kill that guy. And a door opens behind him on the spaceship. And you walk in to this extra door, and there's an army. Actual army of people in there. Like Star Wars style. People on either side. You walk right up the middle, all the way down to the dude that's in command there. You talk to him. He goes on this big, long speech and says, "We're here to invade your world. We're from Earth. We're the Earthens. We've come to take your stuff."
Okay.
End of game.
Really?
Really.
That's so lame.
That is the end of the plot. Phantasy Star 1 has this whole big plot. You see this big, terrible, nasty thing in front of us? You see what this is? This looks like some kind of crazy evil darkness thing.
Yeah.
You saw what Zaya was doing? Crazy evil darkness thing.
Yeah.
Some kind of ancient evil coming to mess with stuff. Totally could have stuck with the theme. No. It's gotta be humans. See, these are not technically humans. People we're playing with are like an entirely different people that evolved in an entirely separate solar system.
Yeah.
I don't believe in evolution, but that's the point of the game. That's what happens. So then, it's just Earth. And they never really explain. I mean, they probably do in Phantasy Star 3. But I think what happens is you end up the ship just blows up and it takes out Parma, that's what it's called, Parma, with it. Like, they've messed with the power systems and like on the planet, and the planet goes chaos and explodes. So ends Parma.
And the human invasion.
Yep. Phantasy
So
Star
dumb.
Phantasy Star 3 picks up with you on, I think it's on Motavia, which at the time is still a lush planet. It still has like trees and forests and all that kind of stuff, because that was 1,000 years after that. And it's in like a medieval society.
Okay.
I've never played through that. The point is, it's just like out of left field, nowhere. And everyone's always like, Phantasy Star 2 is the best one. Now, it's entirely possible that it's got a Star Wars prequels thing going on. Most people don't really like the Star Wars prequels. You can say they're not good. I can say they're not good films. But what I can say is they saved the film industry. They did. At that point...
Saved the film industry?
Yes.
That's a strong statement.
It is. When Episode 1 came out, films were in decline. Hollywood was losing money.
Okay.
Star Wars Episode 1 was one of the first films to use CGI a lot. And the reason Hollywood wasn't doing that was because it was expensive. CGI is really expensive to do.
Yeah.
And to them, it was never worth the cost. Until Episode 1 came out. Episode 1 comes out, he uses a ton of CGI, and makes all the money back. So Hollywood's like, oh, that can work. We'll start doing that. So I understand if Phantasy Star 2 had a thing like that, where like it does a mechanic that no other game had ever done before. It does something that nobody else had ever seen before. Now, I don't know for sure because I didn't grow up in that era playing it as it came out. All I know is that playing it retroactively and having everyone say that's their favorite, when you have this masterpiece of a game that we're playing now, just irks me. It makes me so mad that so many people know about Phantasy Star 2, but they don't know about this game. You see the quality of the art? See the quality of the mechanics of the game? Yeah, they can be complex in bits and pieces. For the most part, it's simple.
Yeah.
Once you know what the things are, you can do it easily. And this game, if you really want to, you don't have to learn anything from it. Just level enough and you'll be able to run everything over.
Yeah.
It's totally doable. So anyway, that's my soapbox. That's my argument thing about me being mad about Phantasy Star 2.
I guess it is kind of like, people, instead of saying that like Final Fantasy 7 or 8 was the best Final Fantasy ever made.
Yeah.
Saying like Final Fantasy 3, dude, that was the bomb, and no one really cares.
Yeah.
I can feel you.
It just bothers me because this game is so well done.
Yeah.
And it came out around the same time as Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Like they took a lot of cues off of that for Phantasy Star 1.
Yeah.
First Phantasy Star, it's super like cheesy and goofy and very Final Fantasy-y.
Yeah.
At that time, every company in the world wanted to make Final Fantasy because Final Fantasy had worked.
It was a big deal.
Yeah. And so it just hurts me so much because this is such a great game and I love it. And you guys can obviously tell that I love it. One, because I just made a passionate 20-minute speech. And two,
You're
because
not kidding.
I'm not. No, I'm really not. I'll put a disclaimer there just to be like, if you don't want to hear a rant, just skip to the end and go to the next video. But you can tell that I love this game so much, and it's just so annoying that
when you see things
nobody
that you love
cares
getting
about it.
ignored.
But yeah, so
I feel you.
that's why I love this game, and that's why we're doing this. And so for all of you out there who are like, why don't they do videos that like people actually want to watch and get views and stuff? I don't care. Yes, it's great to have people watch my videos. It's great to have subscribers. Right now we have 4.
Yeah.
That's fine. I think 2 of them are probably like friends of mine that have said, hey, just subscribe so that I have a subscriber.
Yeah.
Because that's not the point of this channel. The point of this channel is not to get big and go amazing, Game Grumps, Rooster Teeth,
It's just to share something you love with people.
It's just, I love these games. I'm going to show you these games. Here you go.
Yeah.
Watch it or don't. Up to you. I'm not going to make you do anything. You're your own boss.
Makes sense.
And with that, we'll see you guys next time.
Peace out.
What on earth? This feeling of oppression.
I'm going to make you say that again at the beginning of this video.